Okay. Happy Tuesday, my friends. I hope you're doing well out there. Wanted to jump on today and talk about vibrato. It came up recently in a video where I talked about one of the most important things that you work on as you progress as a player is your actual touch and vibrato on the instrument. And you can always tell someone who's kind of new to playing by their just super duper, just intense, shaky vibrato. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like so many people, myself included, tend to get stuck in the notes and stuck in the scales and not so much think about the actual sound and listening of your finger pressing against the strings. Your vibrato is more than basically anything on the instrument. Your voice, it is your fingerprint, it is your touch. So I wanted to jump on today and talk about vibrato. I want to say hi to some people first. Mike, good to see you. Bo, Daniel, Inca Cow, Cashew, good to see you, my friends. One of our fearless moderators. Rivers, good to see you. Harris, always a pleasure. And if you haven't seen it, I have pinned in the description, or sorry, in the comments, but and in the description. I'm running a summer sale for GuitarGate. We do this when we hit big milestones. We just passed 600,000 subscribers. So if you want to save a bunch of money and you want to get in the running to win this guitar and you want to catch our concert, our summer concert, where we'll give this away to one GuitarGate member, you can click that link and you get all my lessons and all my courses. So, oh, the furry one, you look nice today. You do too. Gaston, good to see you. So, vibrato. What's the deal here? There's a few different types of vibrato that I want to talk about. The first one is the one we all know and love, and that's what I call up and down, okay? So, up and down as in the way that your hand moves, okay? But it's also up and down for of pitch. So let's say we have the note B. Now, up and down would be, right? This up and down kind of shake. I want you to listen. This is what I am talking about when I speak about vibrato being your touch and your fingerprint. When you don't move it, that's a cool thing, okay? It's got its place. But generally speaking, you want to put a little bit something on there because we have frets and they're not 100% precise. So just giving it a little movement helps it from sounding out of tune. But when you go up and down, okay, think about what's happening and then listen. You're pulling up in pitch, back down to pitch, and as you go down, you're back up in pitch again. So really dramatically, up in pitch, up in pitch, up in pitch, right? So this is the most common one that people use. And so I have a little track where I'm just playing B major. And all I'm doing is playing B major. And I'm going to do a little up and down vibrato. Slowly, how about quickly? So what you should hear there is that the vibrato doesn't match the sound of the backing track all the time. This is key takeaway number one. Your vibrato, okay, is kind of dictated by the groove of the song. If you don't change it based on what the vibe of the song is, it's gonna sound out. If I'm doing some, some lazy kind of thing like that, if I come in and I'm like, does that sound right to you? The answer is no, it doesn't. So there's a direct correlation between the tempo, the frequency of your vibrato, and the actual groove of the song. Think of it like this. If you have like a phaser, like shh, 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 you have to match your phaser to the tempo of the song, right? You can't you want it to be in time. Same thing with all of you that have lots of delays out there. You want your delay to match the feeling of the space in the song. The same is true with your touch. It's more important in my opinion, okay? So that's the first one, is you have your up and down vibrato and you want to pay attention to the frequency, like how sharp it is, right? Now, the next one is what I call kind of the circle vibrato. The circle vibrato is kind of like the up and down, but when you think in a circle, it automatically becomes less intense. So you're kind of like marking a little circle on the neck, right? And now what happens when you do the circle vibrato is you get a little up in pitch, but then you also get a little down in pitch as you pull back. And you avoid this. And notice if you hear that too. A lot of times when you do this, you get a lot of unwanted string noise, okay? So, same thing. I put on this basic little track. Want to find a little circle vibrato, okay? So if you notice, the same type of thing is true with that oscillation. Your oscillation, like how many circles, the speed of your circle, it needs to match the song. Mead drinker Tom Bukovac says he hates hearing vibrato on every note. Says it sounds amateurish. Yes. So that is an extreme example of, so sometimes, right? You just, like if I put this track on, no vibrato at all. It's really on purpose. Like that, the point Tom is trying to make is the same one I'm trying to make. That's that you don't always do the same thing. You know, piano players don't have this luxury. They have light and soft. They have dynamics when they touch it, but they're not able to push and pull the actual pitch, okay? And that's what vibrato is. And the point of this lesson is to show you that there are many different types of vibrato. Denzel, thanks for becoming a GuitarGate member on YouTube. I appreciate you. And remember, there's a sale up top and pinned in the comments for all of you that have been on the fence for a while. So in other words, pick a target note to emphasize a note. So, yes. So, for example, in that B, right? I'm emphasizing B, D sharp, and F sharp. Those are my root, third, and fifth in the scale, respectively. You can emphasize any note. You can emphasize a 6, flat 7, major 7. It doesn't matter. The point is that when you hang on something, that's generally when you do vibrato, okay? It's when you try to make it sing. And so sometimes you don't want to have it shake. Sometimes you want to just have no vibrato and make them take it. Sometimes you want to shake it till the cows come home. Sometimes you want it to be so soft and so subtle, which leads me to my third kind of vibrato, which is in the middle, I would say, between your up and down and your circle. So if up and down's over here and your circle's over here would be left and right. And again, I'm thinking in terms of the guitar neck. So again, if I take a note, this B, and I'm just pushing and pulling on the string this way, okay? There's nothing going this way. It's just this way. What I get is the ability to obviously pull back to sharpen the pitch. And if I push forward, if I push towards the pickup, the pitch goes down, okay? This is something I didn't start getting into until I started playing PRS guitars. For whatever reason, in particular, the 594 scale length, which is what this is, it just became apparent. Things happen when they happen. You find the right instrument for you, and you start hearing things you didn't hear. That's why I got to try new stuff. But it just became clear. When I started doing this, violin-style vibrato is what I call it. So when you watch a violin player or a cellist or something like that, they don't have frets, right? And so the way they get to a pitch is they approximate it with an up and down, meaning the same axis as the neck, okay? So left and right is what I was calling before, but up and down the neck, not up and down in pitch. Actually, it is up and down in pitch, but I know I'm using a lot of different terms. This way, not this way, this way. That's how they approximate the note and give it that sustain. And you'll see them, do quick or really slow, and it's very pronounced because they don't have any frets. I never really tried to learn this type of vibrato for the first 20 years of playing, but boy, has it changed my playing. If I put this on, so subtle. So, here are your 4 points. Here are your 4 things. We'll put a bow on it for you to work on. You have your up and down vibrato. You have your circle. And then you have your left and right. So, you have your this way, and a combination, which is your circle, okay? But the most important thing to realize is that whatever you're choosing to do, you're choosing it because you want that vibe, okay? And the vibe has to match the song. If it's super aggressive and you're deep in the mix and you're distorted, yeah, doing your vibrato this where it moves all the time and you get string noise, probably fine. If you're doing a sweet single note clean melody, you're probably going to want to be as much as a violin style vibrato as you can, okay? And the circle method is kind of an in-between, which prevents you from getting too aggressive with it all the time. So if you're one of those players that you feel like every time you record yourself and listen to it, and it just sounds like it's shaky, or it sounds like you're pulling it out of tune, that's probably why. Last thing I'll note before I open it up to questions is that all of these work for chords, especially double stops and dyads, okay? So if I'm doing B like this, I'm omitting the actual root. I'm playing the fifth and third. There's no vibrato. There's a little, right, up and down. You can hear it going up and down in pitch, right? Circle, and then left and right. So and in the same song, in the same piece, mess around with different vibrato tempos, right? Slow, fast, nothing. And that's it, my friends. Your 4 key takeaways: that there are 3 essential kinds of vibrato, but the most important thing to pay attention to is that, just like a delay, just like a phaser, is that your cycles, your vibrato cycles, if you will, match the vibe of the song. And sometimes no vibrato matches the vibe best. So there's really 4 types. No vibrato, going this way, like violin style, and then a combination, which is the circle. That's it. All right. Eric, I'd like to hear Mike's perspective on violin style versus up and down. I think I just did that. Yep, you missed that part. But the longer I play, the cleaner I play. The cleaner I play, the lighter strings I tend to play. The lighter strings and cleaner I tend to play, the more I favor violin style vibrato. The big, like Stevie Ray Vaughan style vibrato, love it. But not out of that context generally, right? The point I'm trying to make is that your vibrato also exists in context. Just like your note choices, your feel choice is perhaps more important. Okay. Great. Well explained. Glad you dug it. This makes me realize I wiggle my wrist and hope for the best. Yeah, a lot of us do that. So, B.B. King, okay? B.B. King used to do it like this. Right? Now, he would pull off, because he said he could never do this kind of vibrato or this kind. So he would just wiggle his wrist. But, so what this is essentially the same. You're pulling up in pitch and then back down to pitch, right? Right? You're never going down below the pitch. It's up and back, Same thing with kind of Albert King. He would bring it down. He'd pull it down, rather. But one thing you will see all those players do, all those great blues players, is have a variation of their cycles, of their tempo. You'll see B.B., do that, but also, right, they'll slow it down, they'll speed it up. And sometimes, especially B.B., will do no vibrato all the time, right? But then sometimes it'll be like it'll be like a lightning strike, like he couldn't shake it faster. Again, the point is that your vibrato is just as nuanced as anything you'll play. if you haven't thought about it, if you haven't listened to your vibrato, especially if you have a track on or even just a loop pedal and heard how it sounds more or less in tune based on how far you're pulling it, I would implore you to start doing that, because it's its own journey, and the longer you go down this road, the more you're going to pay attention to that stuff. Gabriel, good to see you. Harry, good to see you. Hunter, Jonah, Mead, I appreciate that. Hit the like button. And for anybody out there, again, we are having a summer sale to commemorate 600,000 subscribers. If you want all my lessons and all my courses, save a bunch of money. There's over 6,500 videos, lessons, PDFs, jam tracks, everything on GuitarGate. And of course, you get to pick what comes next on YouTube. I'll give you a shout out. Send me your hottest videos. And lastly, you get a chance to win this. In early August, I'm going to play our live summer concert, and I'm going to give this away to one lucky GuitarGate subscriber, because you guys make it all possible for me. So if you're interested in supporting the channel and taking my lessons and taking my courses, that's how to do it. Save some money, click the link. That's it. That's my little pitch. All right, my friends, I don't see any other questions in the comments, so I'll just leave you with this. Remember, you spend all the time thinking about notes, right? You spend all this time thinking about gear, but your touch on the actual instrument is your voice. It is your fingerprint. And vibrato, more than anything else, dictates that. So I want you to think about it. I want you to feel it. Try the 3 different kinds or no vibrato and be purposeful. Think about the cycle. Think about the tempo of the song. If you have trouble thinking about the tempo of the song and what's appropriate, listen to the hi-hats. If the hi-hats are going, you can probably get away with, right, that kind of vibrato. But if it's real, you're probably going to be in a much slower pace, a slower vibe. Think about how you speak. Think about your punctuation. That's it, my friends. I hope you have an excellent day. I hope you keep the guitar in your hands. And for all of you out there that are GuitarGate members, I will see you tonight. We have, I forgot to mention this, one thing you get as a GuitarGate premium member is you get weekly live Zoom lessons. So tonight we have Lyle Brewer from the great band Neighbor, and he made a custom track which he's going to be teaching. I'm going to send an email out later this afternoon with the link. So if you join, you'll see that email, and you could join Lyle live on camera, and you get full access to the entire lesson database. That's it, my friends. I love you all. Take care. Cashew, thanks for being a moderator. I'll see you soon. Cheers.